I just got done with work and I was thinking about it. So I started this playlist. I can't talk. Playlist on TikTok, called like "Everything's My Fault" because that's the way my life has always been. That for some reason, like no matter what, everything always ends up being my fault. And I was thinking about the story that would be great to add it. I might wait a few days to post this, but I wanted to record it now while it was on my mind. So probably like I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, maybe a little more or less. I'd taken the ancestry DNA test, and then I found my birth father through that test, and his wife and kids flew me down to see him as a surprise on Thanksgiving. And then I think I was like stay down there for like 5 days or something. And they live outside of Vegas, and like at first like everything went great, like everybody was wonderful. I mean, everybody like all along was wonderful. It was just like my dad that turned like psycho, and we don't talk now because of that. um but anyways, like the story time of like, oh, of course it's like my fault, was, now keep in mind, like this is not, he's my biologically my dad, but like I never met him till then. He didn't even know that I existed until then. um so like me and him, my cousins, all his family, we go out like to the strip in Vegas, and we're out there till like, I don't know, I think like midnight or 1 or something. And then on the way back, my dad and like my cousin and stuff are like, oh, we're hungry, let's stop and get some food. And so they stopped somewhere, and I didn't want anything to eat, but I was like, oh, my feet hurt. I'm just gonna like sit down. And the only table like open, there was like this guy sitting there. And so I just asked the guy, like, is it okay if I sit next to you? And he's like, yeah. So my birth dad started getting super weird about it. And like, I actually thought it was funny because it's like, you only just met me and you're being all like possessive and weird. And so totally it's a joke. Like, because my birthday, I was like, we have to go now, we have to go now. And so totally it's a joke. Like, I told the guy, like, oh, if we have to go now, like, I need your number. Like, I don't live in Colorado, or not Colorado. I don't live in Nevada. I'm obviously like not gonna do anything with this dude's number. It was just like a joke. Like, he was gonna write it down to me, give it to me, whatever. Maybe I would text him once, maybe I'd text him never. I don't know, but it wasn't gonna go beyond that, right? So we get back in the truck, like with them with their food and then whatever, like to go back to my dad's house. And he's like driving, and he like turns around and was like, that was so inappropriate that you did that, and like grabbed the paper out of my hand, and like forcefully grabbed it out of my hand and like ripped it up. And so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna like let this go. It's kind of stupid, but I'm not really into like trying to fight or anything. So we get back to my dad's house, and he's like, everybody wants to go to bed, right? Like, it's late, and we've been out, and we've been drinking. And so then, like, my birth dad, out of nowhere, he starts bringing this up again. It's just me, one of my cousins, and him. And he's like, it's all your fault. This was so inappropriate that you did this. You never should have done this. I can't believe you disrespected me like this. And he's like, I have to go outside and call your birth mom and see what she thinks. Like, I was adopted at birth. My birth mom doesn't know me any better. Like, it's very, very bizarre. But anyways, as you can see, with the plot of this is going in the same direction as everything else, which is everything is always my fault one way or another. So my cousin started trying to like defend me, and then my birth dad was so mean to him that he started crying, and then my birth dad was so mean to me that I started crying. Then my birth dad went and woke up everybody else who was sleeping to wake them up to convince them that also that it was my fault and that they should tell me that it was my fault. And I was absolutely livid. And I tried to like let it go when I came back and stuff, but he was like weird and clingy, and he'd like call me like every day and get upset if I didn't answer the phone. I have like a really busy life, so I can't like be on the phone all the time. But yeah, that was like probably one of the crazier times of like somebody claiming that something was my fault, that it was really like nothing, and he blew it up into something crazy. But something that was supposed to be like a really joyful experience, I always wondered what it would be like to like meet my birth dad and all that kind of stuff, like turned into this like absolute mess. um Yeah, but it comes to a point, like, because this stuff always happens to me in my life, that, like, I get blamed for everything all the time. It just kind of rolls off my back now to where I'm just like, whatever, yeah, of course it's my fault. So yeah, I'll post this one next, and meanwhile I'll try to think of some more of the stories. And if you have any questions about any of the stories, or even about how, like, I took the ancestry DNA test and how I found my birth dad and everything, comment, and I'd be happy to do a video on anything that you guys might find interesting.